Guys, welcome back. Get Fit ASAP podcast. We're on episode 6. We got Josh Gibson coming back, so I almost messed up.
Hello again.
Josh Gibson coming back. My name is Anthony Malta, and today we're going to be talking about the benefits of group training.
That's what we're all about, man.
Yep, that's basically what we do here. Basically, let's start off. Let's go over the different kinds of training I guess you can do. But let's go maybe at home, Globo Gym, PT. Kind of go over the differences of each one, and then benefits, pros and cons for each one, and then.
Fair enough. I think a good starting point is I feel like most people, I know me personally, probably you as well, most people don't start off necessarily in the garage gym. I think it's more the Globo Gym setting that people like to start off in. We all have that typical, that day where it's just make or break. We wake up, we're not happy with the way we look, we're not happy with our fitness. What's the first thing you do? You start gym shopping. Yeah. The first thing people always want to do is that low barrier of entry being cost. They're like, what's the cheapest thing closest to my house? You're always going to start off at the 24-Hour Fitness, CalFit, Planet Fitness, whatever it is. Yeah. We typically go there. So let's kind of dive down that rabbit hole a little bit of the typical what we always see when people finally are done with that route and then they come to us and they've like the same story as all of us, man. I wasted so much time and money.
Exactly.
Even though it's fairly inexpensive. What's the average gym membership look like these days? I've been doing CrossFit for a long time now. I think anywhere from $10 to $50 a month. Sound about right?
Probably, because I think those higher ones, those health clubs are like a little bit more expensive, maybe like $70 or whatever. Yeah. But I think the now is just the low barrier of entry, like the Planet Fitness and all those like $9.99.
Yeah.
Where it's like.
So let's talk a little bit about what we're going to get for that $9.99. I feel like that's a good, on the radio you hear the advertisements every day. So $9.99 seems to be all the gyms are competing with each other. What they're basically looking for that $9.99 is they're looking for a mass majority of people to come to their gym. So you have a 30,000 square foot space. Some of them are even bigger. They can hold a lot of people, but what they're really counting on is get all those people and pay $10 a month, and then that helps them pay their rent, service equipment. They actually make their profits off of personal training sales, supplements, things like that. I think it's a really high level of cost just to run one of those facilities. I mean, you got to think all the gym equipment, all the employees, just lights and water in general is really expensive. So they're counting on most of those people just not even coming in.
Advertising.
And I always tell people, I'm like, think about if everyone decided to work out that actually had a membership there, how crazy the gym
10%.
would be.
Let's say 10%.
It'd be insane. That's 3,000 people at one time.
Yeah.
So that's pretty brutal. So those gyms are definitely not. I wouldn't say they're bad. What I would say is they're definitely not counting on everyone coming every day. Like, they don't really care about your results because obviously they're mass marketing. They want to get everybody in like cattle.
Well,
so they're feed it in.
Like their basic model, their business model is get a lot of people signed up.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's not too much money that they want to stop paying. Like, because I'll come in next month. Like I said, if 10% of their people actually came in the gym, they're screwed because it's gonna be packed.
It'd be pretty insane. We've always joked about that over the years. And then with that $10 entry fee, that usually just gets you basic access to the gym. So you're paying $10 a month, so it's super affordable for everyone. So you get access to this gym. So you walk in the gym. Where do we go from there?
Yeah.
Programming.
Treadmill,
it's
some kind of machine. I mean, they're not
usually
any of that.
Exactly. So unless you're paying for personal training, which is going to be a premium price on that, that's getting pretty expensive these days. I know most Globo gyms are going to charge anywhere between like $35 and like $50 per half-hour session. So it's not even an hour session. At that point, you're just kind of taking the gamble of you might have a good trainer, you might not. So you can get results going that route, but that could get pretty pricey.
Yeah.
If you're talking $50 a session for 30 minutes, just 3 days a week, that's $150 a week on top of your membership. That's pretty expensive. So you're looking at
$500 a month, maybe.
Yeah, it's a lot of money per month, and you're not getting that much time training. Yeah. So 3 days, we always say, is the minimum that we need to be putting in. So
for sure,
it can get a little pricey. So if you're doing it on your own, the problems you're going to run into are what program do I choose? Where do I find that? I feel like typically bodybuilding.com is probably a pretty...
Yeah. Any YouTube or Google, I guess.
YouTube. Hey, so how do you know? Like, how do you know a good program from a bad program if you're an inexperienced athlete and you've never been around this kind of stuff?
Don't really.
Yeah, so you're just basically gambling, 50-50 shot. It might
or
work,
you see some guy post something about like, oh, he looks pretty good. I'm gonna do that one because obviously
fair enough.
He did that.
That's called sales and marketing, my friend, for sure. So what do we think are the benefits of group training over the Globo Gym setting? So usually that's where most people start. So how can we kind of get people sway them to start thinking outside the box, literally like the big Globo Gym box, and start thinking about more of group fitness rather than just doing it on their own at the gym.
I almost don't think it's a hard sell, because most of the people that we get are people that already did the traditional gym, right? Because that's what they know, that's what they hear, that's how it's been for so long. And they come here and they're like, dude, it's not working. So then it's kind of an easy sell for us, because our program really works. So then it's easy, But they don't know what to do. They're bored, tired of doing the same thing over and over. Not getting the results they want. They're not motivated there, the community, there's no community there. They go in there, kind of mind their own business. They got their beats on. They're just doing their own thing. And like I said, their whole business model is that you don't come in. So they're not going to call you when haven't been shown up for a couple weeks.
Very true.
Their buddies over there are not going to call you and say, hey, where you been, Josh? Like, I saw you skipped out in this last workout, bro. Where you at?
Accountability is very low.
Exactly.
Very low. I know myself. I mean, I worked out in just regular gyms for years. The biggest thing for me was, the main reason I switched over was you just never saw the results you wanted. You might have lost some weight. You might have got a little bit more tone. But at the end of the day, you're still looking in the mirror. Like, there's a lot of room for improvement. So I think I tried every program under the sun. So. And then we kind of go from there, segue off, and then you start seeing the more. I remember when the infomercials for like Beachbody programs like P90X and Insanity got really popular. I know a lot of people tried those. I personally never tried one, but I had a couple buddies that actually did them. And they had like 1 out of every 20 people I met that tried it, got the results. They were very intrinsically motivated people. And they were just those type of people that are going to wake up every day. They're going to go hard. They're going to work out at the same time every day. They're going to eat the food. So it goes to show. I mean, the programs do work if you stick to them. I feel like a lot of programs work.
That's what I think, too, is where it's like, they at least have a structure to it, right? Like, they're like, hey, I just play the DVD or whatever, and I know what to do, just follow along. So at least they're sticking to a program. I don't know how good the program is. Really, I haven't really done it that much, but I don't think they do any kind of strength training, really, or I don't think they do.
It's a little bit. I know Insanity has some in it.
Because if you're doing it at your house, you're going to be limited as far as equipment-wise.
I know there's like, push-ups, pull-ups, dumbbells, things like that. So
a lot of mostly cardio, probably, or mostly...
and body weight exercises. So you can get a decent results off of that. But what I noticed about those programs is after the 12 or 16 weeks or whatever it is up...
redoes or...
you just have to either redo it. They might sell a supplementary program to it that's like the next level, but after that, you're kind of done. So maybe after, let's just give somebody the benefit of the doubt and they stuck to it for a year. That's still only 1 year. Fitness isn't one of those things where you earn it and then you have it for the rest of your life. It's literally leased daily. So if you don't keep up with it, you're gonna lose it. So not having accountability or a group, I think that's where the community factor comes into play really, really big. So if you're doing it at home by yourself or just the Globo Gym by yourself, you never develop those relationships or that community. So there's no friendships being made there. There's no one keeping you coming back to the gym every day to continue to train and get better. So after X amount of time, when your intrinsic motivation runs out, where are you left? You're right back to square one. You might be a little fitter, but
also with coaching, what I'm saying? Say someone at their house has an injury with some kind of thing and can't do some kind of movement. What are they going to do? They don't have a coach telling them any modifications or they don't have a coach, motivating them. Hey, I did 1 round on the screen, but I didn't supposed to do 5.
Yeah,
or, you know what I'm
exactly.
saying?
Modifications are pretty much like you're just making your own call and judgment off of it. And most people, let's be honest, when they get injured, usually just take that time off.
They don't do anything.
So whatever program they're on, they're just taking it off. So that could be 6 to 8 weeks depending on the injury. Sometimes even 12 weeks if it was a really good,
they don't want to
bad
start
injury.
Back either.
Yeah, exactly. And then how do you find that motivation to start over? So obviously there's a lot of cons to kind of doing it on your own. So once people decide, they're like, okay, I finally made that decision to switch over, there's always that conversation that goes down. They're like, I was currently paying X amount of dollars in my gym, $10 to $50 a month. CrossFit costs, 3 times that. So what are we getting when you come into a CrossFit gym? What can people expect that's really gonna to make that valuable to them?
I think it just goes back to the coaching and the community, and then really the results and the sustainability of it, because it's always gonna be different. You're always going to be motivated because you're going to have that community there, and you're always going to feel welcome and want to come to the gym. I think that's the biggest thing, is like going from a mindset of dreading to go to the gym to not wanting to miss it. Like, that's what I think the biggest thing is. If you change that mindset of like, dude, I don't want to even miss it. I enjoy it so much now because the community, the results, I'm having fun. I don't want to miss it. Then it's like not like a chore, not like something that you dread going to, because if you're dreading going to it, you're going to stop it eventually, and then if you stop working out, like you said, you're not going to, your fitness is going to go down. But I think they know too, especially what we do. when they come in for that first class or that first week and they see the difference of what we're getting as far as experience wise, I feel like it, justifies the price.
Yeah.
Really.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have too many people bitching about the price after that.
Yeah.
Obviously, if they look at our website or
Yep. Mm-hmm.
see something right off the back, or you're at somewhere talking to someone and be like, oh yeah, it's blah blah a month, and they're like, oh, what the hell? What are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
obviously. But then when they come in, they actually see what they're getting.
Mm-hmm.
Then I think it's a lot easier to justify that price.
Yeah, absolutely.
As far as my experience.
Yeah, I totally agree. I feel like anyone I've talked to on the phone, that might be the only time you actually have the price conversation where you're trying to kind of rebuttal that. And I always tell people, I'm like, dude, just come in. We always offer 1 week for free. For people that have never done CrossFit or any kind of training like we do here, Olympic weightlifting programs, crunch classes, all that stuff, I always tell them, man, just come in. If you've never done it at all, like definitely schedule an intro with a coach. And that's where the value is really shown. Like having that coach there to any modifications needed, making sure you're choosing the correct movements for your skill level to get the best workout possible. I love doing intros as a coach. I think it is the biggest way to build value, and it only takes
Me too.
one.
I like them doing.
Most people just they see it right then. You put together a 10-minute workout after a nice little movement assessment, and they're usually like, wow, only 10 minutes of work and I feel like this.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're pretty much hooked after that. So it's super cool to see, and it's a repetitive thing. I see it week in and week out. I had a lot of intros this month, and they all went really, really well. And I just love seeing that light bulb click. People are like, this is what I've been wanting. Yeah. I just didn't know it's what I needed.
That's what I like, too, is like just like kind of going over their goals, be like, I want to do this and this and this, and then like show them how we can do it or how we can help them.
Exactly.
Like, that feels good after the class. I'm like,
making it individualized, that's the coolest thing. I think a lot of people think about group training sometimes like, oh, I'm just going to be in a class with a bunch of people and I have to do what they're doing. Like, yeah, you do have the same programming and the same work, but that it can be adjusted to fit different goals, man.
Now, do you count like as like a say a spin class or like Zumba? That's technically group training, right?
Technically, yeah.
But would you put that in the same category as like what we do as far as like?
No, what we do, I think that's like comparing apples to oranges, because you have to think, so in the CrossFit world, we would call that monostructural. So if you're just on a bike for the entire class, they're only doing one movement. Yeah. So there's no cross-training going on there whatsoever. So I really do think those things are completely separate.
Yeah.
Like a Zumba class, very similar too. Like, yeah, you're doing different moves, but it's predominantly like dance-based. So that's still kind of monostructural. It would be just like if you came to CrossFit every day and we just made you run. You know what I mean? That'd be the only thing. But here we do Olympic weightlifting, powerlifting, gymnastics, everything you could think of, and all different combinations. So it's literally like there are millions of options. Like if you added up all the different things we do and the ways we could put them together, it's literally endless. You could do this for the rest of your life and continuously get fitter.
And not do the same thing.
Yeah, not do the same thing twice. And the only reason we do the same thing twice is just to test and retest so we can validate our fitness level, where we started, where we are now. It's always good to retest. So any program I feel like should have that. Even if you're just going in to be just a lifter, Olympic weightlifters, obviously they're going to retest their maxes frequently. And even smaller segments like your 3-rep max or, complex or something like that. Just like a runner would retest their mile time and 5Ks and all that kind of stuff. So definitely think it's definitely something for everyone around here. So super cool.
I think probably a big difference too is like the coaching of it, because like obviously if with those programs, like the coach is actually like doing the workout with them. Yeah. So it's kind of more like a motivation rather than like a coaching, I guess. What
I
I'm
agree.
saying?
Yeah, I absolutely agree.
Or I mean, what would
Yeah.
So
that's totally the right way
totally
to put it.
Different to what we do, because if we work out in the class, like how are you gonna coach someone if you're working out?
Yeah.
What I'm saying? So it's totally different. But I think probably those things that you're saying, there's not a lot of technique to it. Not a lot of coaching needed for it, and it's not really complex movements or anything like that. So it probably takes a little bit less coaching, but more just like cheerleading.
And I even think some of those, I've worked in a couple of big box gyms in the past, and I've seen group fitness classes going on. Even though the movements are a little simpler and maybe they're not as technical, I've still seen areas where a coach could step in and be like, hey, you could do this better and get more benefit to the exercise. But if they're leading a class and they got their headset on and they're keeping energy high, that's cool. They're doing a great job at what they're doing, but you're still missing out on those couple of people that maybe aren't getting low enough in a squat or something like that, and they could be getting better results every day just for that one little change.
Yeah, I mean, too, there's always something you can get better at. Like literally, I mean, no one squats perfect, no one does anything perfect. So,
and that's what's so cool about it. I think it's what keeps people in the gym for so long. Like with ASAP Fitness, especially the fact that you can't be perfect at this. You're just looking for progress day to day.
Every day, just a little bit better every day, right?
I know we say it a lot, and our members probably think it's the cheesiest thing ever, but they get it. They've been here and they're like, oh yeah, it really is true. Like if you can move a little bit better, lift 1 more pound than you did yesterday, you're going to be that much better.
Add up. I mean, dude, but that's honestly everything in life.
Yeah,
like
it really
is. I mean, dude, yeah. So let's go on to personal training then. I think we already touched on it a little bit.
Yeah, we touched on it a little bit. I think the biggest one on that one, like I said, it's 50-50 shot. You know, you might get a good trainer, you might not. It just depends on the gym you're going to. If it's a highly accredited gym and they do really good research on their trainers and they have degrees and they have great certifications and a lot of experience, yeah, you can get a really good program. I think it just comes down to price.
Yeah.
When we're talking to that can get, personal training is going to get expensive. There's no way around it. There's no package deal you're going to buy that's going to be inexpensive. They might discount it a little bit if you sign up for, say, I'm going to do personal training for a year. Yeah, they'll cut some dollars off of the actual per rate, per session rate. But yeah, at the end of the day, you got to have a lot of money for it. So let's say you make great money. Is it still sustainable?
Yeah.
Let's say, you're a young professional, you make great money, but then you get married. Then you have a kid, and the first thing you're going to look at is your expenses, and you're like, okay, I'm paying $500 a month in training. Yes, it got me results, but can I sustain this for the next 30, 40 years? Because like I said earlier, fitness is definitely leased.
Leaves, right? Or your trainer moves on.
Yeah, what if your trainer goes? Yeah. And how frequently have you seen a trainer last at one gym for 10, 20 years?
I mean,
I don't know
unless
any.
The owner.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I don't know any outside of the CrossFit realm. Yeah, I've seen a lot in this setting. A lot of people, because you guys are the owners, are the coaches, so that's pretty cool. But I mean, like the Globo Gym setting, I've never seen anyone stay for more than maybe 10 years, every now and then. So yeah, I think it just comes down to money with the personal training. Is that sustainable for a long period of time? And do you have the funds to get in the gym enough to get the results that you want? Like I said earlier, it's like 3 days a week would really be pushing it, like kind of pushing the budget up pretty high. I mean, so let's say you want to step it up to 5 or 6 days a week. Yeah. It gets a little ridiculous.
And then I'm just saying the results wise, is it almost better just working out at home 5 days a week? Mm-hmm. You think you get better, or 5 or 6 days a week, better, or would you get more results that way, even though you don't have a trainer, or a trainer 3 days a week, because you're doubling the time you're working out?
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
what I'm saying? So who knows? But
yeah, that's a rough gamble. But I would wager to say the more frequently that you can work out, even if it's something simple, the better it would be.
Consistency, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I see a couple even more problems with it, but I do see some also benefits with it. Benefits starting off would be like, if you're really, really new and the group class is like just too overwhelming at first, or you have like some significant injury where it's really, really hindering you, the personal training might be the way to go, at least the way to start, or if you want to be really specific training wise, say you're like, hey, I need to pass this test for the military to be a policeman or something like that, or you want a specific thing, I need to do this many push-ups or run this fast, then that would be, I think, of more benefit than like just one of our regular CrossFit classes or something like that.
I highly agree. Yeah, there's been several cases over the past couple of years where I've definitely recommended personal training over the group classes, because like it's usually 99% of the time the goal is so specific that I'm like, you really need to be training for this very specific thing, especially when it comes to a
Spartan race or
a crazy
like
Spartan.
Marathon.
You got to be on a run program. The class is not going to go run 12, 13 miles with you.
It's just too specialized.
It really is.
Specialized.
Yeah. And the cool thing about that is, let's say you do personal training to train for that event. Most events take about 12 to 16 weeks to peak for, no matter what it is. So you could literally just do the personal training for that block of 3 to 4 months and then just roll right into the fitness classes after that. And let's say you do that same event every year, you would just switch back to personal training, which is pretty cool. So if your gym offers group fitness and personal training, you have all that encompassed. You know what I mean? That way you're not stuck just doing personal training by yourself. You can kind of jump back in the classes. So I think that part's pretty cool.
Well, like the GPP of CrossFit is going to help you in mostly every sport, or at least getting that base, And then when you get more specific, like you said, about the running or doing this whatever task, then you can even go, start going more specialized. But you could even throw in 2-3 CrossFit days a week.
Yep. I was just about to say, I think in a perfect world, in a perfect scenario, if you're training for a very specific event, the best way to do it would be to have your group fitness membership and then just get a couple of personal training sessions on top of that. So maybe 2 days a week you're going to spend working on the very specific skills for that whatever event is, and the rest of the time is GPP, man. General physical preparedness is going to get you ready for everything. So having those days with the community, you're still going to make those friends, and you're still got those people holding you accountable the other days of the week. So you're still getting in a lot more training volume. And you're getting that one-on-one touch
and it's
too.
Not too much of a, not killing the pocket of the wallet.
Yeah. Huge benefit to that.
That's the other thing. The cons I was going to go against it of PT would be the community. Although we do get a person every now and then that want to be by themselves, but I'd say 95% of people would enjoy the group classes. To work out with other people. Yeah. Suffer together, right?
Exactly.
So it's a little bit more fun.
Way more fun when you suffer together, man.
That's the only way I do it now.
I don't know how many times I worked out by myself, and I'm like, I wish one person would walk in right now and do this workout with me. Like, I'll pay you to do it with me.
It's like me. I mean, I have a gym in my house. I don't even use it because I'm like, no, I'm just gonna work out with my people.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So it's, but yeah, definitely the community. I guess you're still getting accountability from the personal trainer, but dude, who needs a person there every single rep watching you? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I don't think you need that much attention all the time.
Yeah, I agree. At some point, I mean, I'm sure you've done personal training in the past. Yeah. Even as a personal trainer, as that coach, you're like, the main part of the job is technique and form, and obviously programming. Those are going to be the two biggest pieces of the puzzle. So you need to make sure they understand what they're doing and the why behind it. You want to know what kind of energy system you're trying to hit, why you're doing these movements, and then just make sure you're doing the movements correctly. Yeah. But to actually like pay someone just to be a rep counter, I've seen that before too. And in that scenario, you're just like, okay, you literally are just like, here, do this movement. Now, was there any coaching behind that? If I just say, hop on the bench press and give me 3 sets of 10, we're going to take a minute break in between.
I'll put another
did you really
2.5 on for you.
Yeah, exactly. Did you really need someone to count your reps and just tell you to do that? Or could you have just walked in the gym and done bench press by yourself? So
exactly.
That's where, just like I said earlier, it just comes down to that 50-50 rule.
Or the trainer's like putting you on machines. Oh, we're going to do this machine here. Okay, 3 sets of 10. It's like, dude, you didn't really show me anything. Like, I could have read a piece of paper that told me to do this, you know. But I mean, everyone's personal training is a little bit different. So
exactly.
Maybe they are getting a lot of
that one's always a tricky topic. Like I said, it's just really tricky because there's some amazing personal trainers out there that make a great living off of doing one-on-one training, and they're really good at it.
Yeah.
And their clients always get results. You know what I mean? Like always. And that's how you know. If everyone they're pumping out just looks significantly better, hitting their goals, you're like, okay, that person knows what they're doing. Exactly. And obviously they're good at motivation too. Yeah. Because their clients don't really have anybody but that one trainer holding them accountable, so they don't have that group aspect. So I think that comes down to the trainer and the coach relationship, and like obviously the individual is like super motivated to get there, and like they're always coming in on time and not missing any sessions, and the coach is a really good motivator. But for the rest of us normal folks out here, it's like I need to know that my friends are going to be there because I don't want to do it alone.
No,
so I'm definitely one of those.
Like the workouts that we do too, it's like they're hard and you know they're gonna be hard. It's like, dude, you know, if you're working out with someone, you're gonna go a little bit faster, you're going a little bit harder.
Yeah.
The camaraderie, the teamwork, I think.
Another thing too, man, even if it doesn't, most people we do push harder when we work out in a group, but even if it doesn't make you go necessarily faster than you normally go, the option of quitting no longer exists.
Yeah.
Because you look around the room when you're so tired and you don't want to do one more rep, and then you just look across and you see 3 or 4 other people, they're still going. Even if it's slow. I mean, we've done some
dying
before.
Too. They're like,
And you're like, okay, well, I know they feel exactly like I do because they're doing the same workout. So you just keep one foot in front of the other. It makes me feel a little bit better.
Like, if I look over and Josh is like, oh, I'm like, okay, I'm good.
Exactly, yeah. Like trust me, man. So. I always look, when I'm ready to crumble, I'm like, look around real quick, make sure someone else has the pain face on. I'm like, okay,
they're all looking
I can be dramatic now.
Like, oh, shit.
Yeah, if they're looking fresh, you might need to step it up a little bit. It happens to me every day with you guys. It sucks. It's very humbling. Very humbling. So let's get back to the community real quick. So one of the biggest perks about the community, I think, the friendships you develop in the gym.
Yeah.
What I found over the past like 7 to 10 years, man, is like my best friends are from the gym now. Like,
for sure,
trying to find, like, we work in a pretty cool element where coworkers, we actually like our coworkers because we're all, and we have common interests, so it's pretty easy. But let's say you work in an office setting, most people don't have that many friends at work. Maybe 1 or 2, and that's about it. Out of, you know, if you work for a big company, you hardly know anybody. When you come to the gym, you're going to get to know 50 to 100 to 150 people that pretty much have your back through anything because you have that common suffering.
Is that
so
why
it's almost like you've been in a fight together. You know what I mean?
Is
like
you
have that instant bond.
Because okay, you know they only come here an hour a day, right? Why? And they're at work for 8 hours a day or whatever. Why do you think they build such a better bond, you know, here rather than at work when they're there for so much longer?
I'll tell you,
my kind of hit on it a little bit.
I've thought about this a lot. I've thought about it a whole lot, and I think I have a really good answer for it. At work, we are divided up by our titles, right? So you have your manager, then you have your assistant managers, or however the company structures it, and then you have just your regular administrators and all that kind of stuff. People who just do basic maintenance. When you get in a CrossFit setting or a group fitness setting, you can have a CEO of a company working out next to the janitor, and they're going to look at each other. You're doing the same thing. Like, you're both going through the same pain cave at the same time, and that mutual respect when you're done, even if no words are said, it's that just nod across the room and a high five that are like, we just suffered through the same thing. So now you have people that in a normal world, in the normal workplace, would never even really talk to each other besides a casual hi in the hallway. They're going to get to know each other. That's the coolest part for me as a coach to watch happen. I love that part, is introducing new people or just watching coworkers come in and getting to know each other. And they find out things. I'm like, oh, how long have you guys worked together? And they're like, oh, work together for 5 years. And I'm like, so-and-so didn't even know the other person had 3 kids and their kids went to the same school. Things like that, man.
Yeah.
Those relationships and bonds, they get really, really strong in the gym. And it's all through just common suffering. It really is. It really is. It's probably my favorite part about CrossFit.
There's a psychological thing of that. I've read a couple of articles about, like, the bonding between someone that's suffering together.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy, or it's pretty interesting, really. I'm like, oh, wow.
It is.
But then you feel it, and then you're like, oh, wow.
Yep. It's the same thing, and it's like any athletic kind of endeavor. When people take on like running and stuff, running is a very solo sport, very individual sport, but you build that community of runners around. I do a lot of racing, so I always revert to that.
Yeah.
But like I see people training around town. I never talk to them, obviously. You're not just going to stop and be like, hey, I run too. But if you end up doing a couple of races together, then you start asking questions. Oh, I saw you at such a race, and then you have a little bit more respect for that person. And you want to get to know them because you have that common ground. So I feel like CrossFit in the group class, that just gives you that common denominator. It brings everybody back to square one. Now you're not separated by status or title or any of that kind of stuff. So it's a very humbling experience.
Well, even like in a workplace too, like I think what we do is like when you have that common goal or you like accomplish something, right? Mm-hmm. And then you get like a bigger, a better bond. Yeah. But even like in a workplace, say for example, me and you did some task or wanted to get some project and finished it. Yeah. I still don't feel as accomplished like after you do a workout. Like, dude, you feel good.
For
like,
sure.
Probably like some with endorphins and stuff like that because it's physical. Mm-hmm. But like, even like the workplace when they're working together as equals or whatever and accomplishing some kind of goal, I feel like they still don't get as good as this bond.
Yeah. I totally agree. It's just like, because work is more like I feel like it's a mandatory.
You feel like, thing. People don't want to be there,
really,
don't really want to do it.
So people that are like motivated about their job, that's super cool. And they're like, yeah, I want to do a great job. But the reward for it, I don't feel like is as high. Yeah. Now, when you get the physical satisfaction of accomplishing a goal, like let's say you hit a new 1 rep max on your back squat or you PR'd your Fran time or whatever it is, everyone around you can relate to that, right? So everyone in that class has done that similar workout or done that thing. It doesn't matter if their number's here and yours is here. Yeah. They know exactly what that felt like for you.
We both
PR'd, so it doesn't matter.
Accomplish something.
And it's just that camaraderie of I want to see everyone in my class succeed. And I think that's cool. And in the workplace, you only, like I said, you're just broken up in these little divisions, so you might only have a couple people that want to see you succeed.
It kind of, it almost could be like, dividing, like you said, because, I don't want to, almost like their opponents.
Exactly, yeah. Well, what if at the end of the day in your workplace, only one of you gets the raise? So now it's more of a competition, whereas in the gym, if you both do a great job, you both get the satisfaction of getting a PR. So, and you want to see your peers do well, especially in the gym setting. So who doesn't want to be part of someone's fitness journey and success? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like everybody wants to root around it, and that's one of the cool things about CrossFit. Usually the last guy or gal finishing a workout
still
gets the most cheers, man. Gets the most cheers.
Yeah.
It's hardly ever the first person that came in because everyone else is still grinding away working while they're laying on the floor. So you can't replicate it in any other fashion. You know what I mean? Like, whether it be work or anything. I think the only thing to really compare it to is like team sports. Any of us that played team sports in high school, I feel like this CrossFit is so amazing because it brings that back. Now we're older and we're adults and we don't really
for sure
interact in that environment. But I love playing sports. I love team sports, especially in high school. And CrossFit just kind of brought me back to that same mentality of like, oh, I have something to train for. I have people to train with, and we all have a common goal. So it's super cool.
And I feel like in life too, like people want to be productive. They want to accomplish things. And if I feel the best when I'm being productive and working and accomplishing something rather than just like sitting around doing whatever, just messing around. Like, so I feel like you're gonna feel better if you're accomplishing something, especially with someone else too. Because like that support system or that community, like you said, that's the hardest. That's harder than just doing it by yourself usually, because you're like, all right, you gotta depend on someone else. You gotta but it's hard to say.
All pans out. I think that's a good spot to go ahead and wrap it up for today. Do you have any shameless plugs you want to give out today?
I mean, follow us on iTunes, Get Fit ASAP Podcast. Of course,
where else are you guys now? You're on iTunes? Are you guys on Stitcher? Any of those other
We are. I don't push them too much, though, but you can go there also. Where else? I mean, our YouTube channel is probably the biggest one besides iTunes.
So ASAP Fitness YouTube channel?
Yeah, if you want to watch the videos of it, because we're so pretty.
We've been putting up a lot of content as well, like trainer tips. We have Olympic weightlifting specialist. Myself, being a Spartan SGX coach, I put up a lot of tips. I'll be posting a video today actually on like shoe reviews and how to choose the right shoe for what type of running you're doing. So I feel like I get a lot of questions about that. Good. So for anything you guys are thinking about, we give a lot of tips per week. So make sure to follow us on Instagram and YouTube. We're constantly posting content daily, literally daily. So 7 days a week, we're trying to get new stuff out there. If there's anything you guys want to know about or any questions you might have, please feel free to comment below, or you can contact us. Our website is asap.fitness, and you can get all your contact information there, as well as our class schedules, locations, and all that good stuff as well. So.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks for coming by, Josh.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me, brother.